I knew when I drove from here to Virginia that it would be the last time I saw my father alive. Because they told us in the cardiac ICU, everyone goes home eventually. So we put him in hospice care. On this trip, I brought one of my favorite things to do, which was woodworking. And we were going to do it in his hospital room. My dad was the kind of guy where the suit was often three-piece, and the shoes matched the shirt, and the tie matched the pocket square, and if he had on a hat, you knew that he was looking good. So when I walk into his hospital room, he sees me, he's like, "Sup?" And I'm like, "Hey, Pop." And then he looks at me and he goes, "Guess what?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I've got something in my poop hole." The emergence of this weird 11-year-old boy threw me for a minute, and then he demanded to watch ESPN, so he was back. And so I had my woodworking, and I'd brought it with me, and we, damn it all, were going to do a project together, for it was going to be the first and the last time. And my father is a woodworker extraordinaire. In my parents' house, he has made the bunk beds, the bureau, the dresser, the credenza, the coffee tables, all of the shelves in the pantry, all of the bookshelves, and, growing up, and all of the clocks with pendula. So my dad is like the woodworker extraordinaire, and I've been happily stealing his tools for years. So I brought this project, and I get to the room, and I, steal some nursing supplies from the little shelf where they have them, and I steal one of those like smushy absorbent pads they put underneath patients, and I lay it out on the floor. And I pull out my favorite saw, this slim, flexible Japanese model. And then I bring this corner molding that's been bedeviling me for weeks. And then I pull out my miter box, and I'm all set up to do woodworking in the hospice room. And so I'm on the floor, and I'm sawing. And then you hear this noise, and it's whoosha, whoosha, whoosha. And my sisters and I look at each other like, what the hell just turned on? What machine is this? And we're like, So I go back to sawing, and I'm like, let me hear whoosha, whoosha, whoosha. And I look at my sisters, and we look at each other, and we're like, the hell? And then we look at my father, and we realize that it's him making the sound of the saw. So I'm back down on the floor, and at this point, I'm up and down like some kind of woodworking whack-a-mole. And I have this first piece of wood, and it's beautiful. Like, the angle is a perfect 45 degrees. It's gorgeous. And I pop back up with my piece of wood, and I hold it really close to his eyes, because at this point, he's going blind. And I'm like, look at that pop, that angle. It's beautiful. And he kind of goes, yeah. And then I pop back down, whoosha, whoosha, whoosha. And I pop back up and have another piece of wood, and I press it underneath the cannula in his nose. And I don't know if any of you have ever smelled fresh cut wood, but it smells like sharp earth and rain on grass, and a little bit like potential. And so my dad's like, wood. And I'm like, yeah, pop, it's wood. And I pop back down, and whoosha, whoosha, whoosha. And at some point, I have a little bundle of sticks, just 4 pieces. And I pop back up, and I put him in his hand, almost like a benediction. And I fold his dry, papery hands over this wood, and I'm like, feel that. Can you feel that? And he can't really hold on to it. And I fold his fingers back over, and I'm like, look, Pop, you're helping me make something. And I realized that there was the gift. Not the gift of time, because we were all out. Not the gift of forgiveness, because I had no bitterness that this was our first and last project together. But that gift was the gift of being creative, under the weirdest, hardest circumstances, the ability to make something out of absolutely freaking nothing. That was my inheritance. And so I ended up with 16 pieces of wood, beautifully cut with my assistant. And I numbered them 1 through 4 times, because he told me once that's what a good worker does, keeps track of your brr. I stopped listening, let's be honest. But I had 16 pieces of wood, and I made them into picture frames, because I also do some painting. And the first piece is for my mother, and it says, love. The next piece is for my middle sister, and it says, faith. The next piece is for my baby sister, and it says, hope. And mine says, grace. Thank you.